How many of these are relevant for you? I struggle to communicate with my manager what exactly I want. My manager is very demanding. I have an amazing relationship with my manager. Anybody who is working in a collaborative atmosphere, there will be somebody who is superior to you. I struggle to communicate with my manager. 43% people. My manager is very demanding, 32%. So more or less, if I take about, so these two questions, I have tricked you. These two questions, the answer is more or less similar. So when I communicate, he understands something else. So it means if I talk about 77 or means 40 plus 78% people are struggling to communicate. Isn't it true? That's an amazing relationship, 31. So there was a mid-sized organization of 500 plus people, which I was basically consulting them to improve their growth. So I was doing communication skill workshop and a lot of things I was doing for them. And they invited me after the mess up. There was a guy known as Ravi. So Ravi was working and he was a very strong performer, typical techie guy who knows how to bring results. He's very confident to bring results, a very outgoing, demanding on himself, terrific player. Okay, he was that sort of guy. And the president of the organization knew the weakness of Ravi, that Ravi is a great player, but the only problem is his people skills are pathetic. He can say anything which comes in his mouth and he believes it is right. So he doesn't care. For him, nothing is important. I mean, his work, he can challenge anybody. He can challenge a customer. He can do anything. The people skill was really question mark. But they never fired him only for one reason. He was delivering results. Despite his poor people skill, he got a promotion till a vice president level. After his becoming vice president, there was another guy. His name is Sanjeev. Let's take an example. His Sanjeev is there. So Sanjeev was also a good performer. So Brajesh is the president of the organization. And then there is Ravi, who has been promoted to vice president because of his performing ability. All right. And he was doing quite a good job and Brajesh was very intelligent. He strategically positioned people across Ravi who are good in people management. So far so good. Things were going really great. Until one day, another guy known as Sanjeev got a promotion. And Sanjeev was again a good performer. The reason he got promotion was he was a good performer and his people skill were really good. So there was struggle started. And exactly after 14 months, Sanjeev is fired. And in that same quarter, they reported a loss of around $1 million. Listen to Sanjeev's story and what Ravi is saying, listen to Ravi's story. Let's listen both the sides. Ravi believes that Sanjeev was not communicating to him clearly what is his intention. And he was keeping him in dark. And he took some decisions without informing me. And those decisions were not aligned with my goal of this year. Sanjeev says, man, I communicated Ravi very well. First of all, whatever is communication required, I communicated him. I communicated that I am experimenting with the new software, which I am going to install and which I am going to run. The problem happened, the real problem actually, the outcome was this. Sanjeev was operating head of a unit in which he experimented. Actually, he has to now align with the marketing team. He has to align with the director of the design team. He has to work with multiple people involved. And there's a deadline also. The deadline is that this much of product has to be delivered, assumed. And problem was happening in the last moment. Sanjeev is a guy who wants to experiment with the things. And he was experimenting to see if things can go better. And unfortunately, that experiment didn't work better and it became a loss. Now, what Ravi's concern is, man, I told you that target is important. We don't have bandwidth to experiment. And what Sanjeev is saying, man, you never told me this. The only problem is we do not understand the language of the people.